Okay, awesome. Okay, get signed up for that. Alright, so we're doing 10.2, circles and their equations. Pretty easy stuff. It's been a while since we've learned circles, but it's really straightforward. So this is the equation of a shifted circle. So x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals our radius squared. That will be what the equation of the circle looks like. Where, just like with all functions, this is our shift left and right. Because x grouped in with x is shift left and right. Now, this is what's just a little different. This is our shift up and down, what's added with our y's. And because both of them are in parentheses, we do go opposite with both of them. So usually with the shift up and down, we don't go opposite, but since it's grouped with y in parentheses, this time we do go opposite. And then, and that's from the origin, opposite, so you start at the origin, and then you know to shift left and right, up and down. And then that's your radius squared. That's what's important to note. That's not the radius, it's the radius squared. Now, right, so if you look at this equation here, this black circle here, this is the black circle. X squared plus y squared equals 1. So notice there's no shift left and right, no shift up and down. So that means our center of our circle is at the origin, 0, 0. Does everybody see how it is? Then our radius is not, it's 1, but it's because r squared equals 1. And if this is our radius squared, if I square root it, we still get 1. You guys see how that would be our r? So now our radius is 1. So 1 over, 1 up, 1 over, 1 down, and then I draw my circle. Okay, so then right here, once again, x squared plus y squared equals 4. The center is at 0, 0, because there's no shift left and right, no shift up and down. My radius squared equals 4, so then I'd square root it. So my radius equals 2. So notice from the origin I'm out 2, up 2, over 2, down 2. And so what would my radius be here? 6. Okay, good. So pretty easy. Then all we'll do is start shifting the circle. So the center of our circle will be at the h comma k, the shifted value. So the center of all of these were at 0, 0, because there was no shift. Okay, so this says graph. So first of all, let's describe the shift. Right 2, down 3, good. And so I'll put that in. Right 2, down 3, and there's my center. So that would have been right is positive, so 2, down is negative. 2, negative 3 is the center of my circle. My radius squared is 16, therefore my radius is 4. Technically plus or minus 4, but we throw out the minus because we can't have a negative radius. So now from the center here, I'll change colors. I'm going out 4 units. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 1, 2, 3, 4. Over 1, 2, 3, 4. And down 1, 2, 3, 4. And then try to make them as round as possible. It is kind of hard. Almost had it going there. I was doing good for a second. Okay, pretty easy. That's really as hard as it's going to get for the most part. For the most part. Okay, so let's do another one. So describe the center. What would the center be at? Negative 4, 1. So negative 4 up 1 is the center. My radius is 5. So out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. 5. And there's my circle. Alright, so now let's go the other way. It says, given this information, write the equation of the circle. So it gives you that the center is at 4, 0, and our radius is equal to root 2. So we're going to say, okay, shifts, this is our shift left and right, correct? This is our x shift, y shift. So it went positive 4, so wouldn't it be x minus 4? Squared, plus sign. It's always with the circle, so in factory, always a plus sign in between. Never a minus sign. And then we have our y. And then is there any shift left and right? I mean, any shift up and down is what I meant to say. No. So let's just go plus y squared. I don't even need parentheses. So plus y squared, that's equal to the radius squared. Now here's my radius. This has got to be radius squared. So I'm going to square the radius to make it radius squared. Does everybody see? So then from there, our radius squared equals what? Square roots and squares cancel out. So it's 2. Our radius squared is 2. So then 2 goes here. Make sure you don't put the radius period right there because that's usually where people mess up. They just put the radius right there. Okay, let's do this one. The center is at 2, 4, so x, y shift. So that would be opposite. We need to do opposite. So x minus 2 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals the radius squared. Here's our radius, so we need to square it. So we get 25. Pretty easy. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to look at something. Standard form versus general form. This is the standard form or shifted form of a circle. This is the last thing we have to learn. General form is not going to look like this. So let me show you what the general form is. Instead of having it in standard form, shifted form, it's kind of like vertex form of a quadratic. We can put something in standard form. It's just kind of, it's worded standard form is the shifted form. General form is to actually multiply it out. So you don't need to actually, I'm just showing you where the general form comes from right now, but don't write this down necessarily. It's not important. So x plus 2 times x plus 2. Isn't that what x plus 2 squared is? And then we have plus y minus 3 times y minus 3 equals 9. So I'm just showing you where general form comes from. So if I was to distribute this out, x squared plus 2x plus 2x, so that's plus 4x plus 4 plus 9, y squared minus 3y minus 3y, so that's minus 6y, and then plus 9 equals 9. So this is actually what the standard form is going to look like. So putting it in, combining like terms and putting it in standard form. So x squared is the highest degree and y squared. So we put those first. Then doesn't matter, x and y are both degree 1, so that would come next, plus 4x, and then minus 6y. And then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have plus 13 equals 9. So then we'll subtract 9. A lot of times they'll put all of that together. So I don't know actually. I'm trying to think if they would leave it over. So plus 13 equals 9. But then yeah, if they were to subtract 9 over, we just have 0 and 4. Does everyone see? So that's what it's going to be given to you as. This is what they're going to give you. They're going to say graph. So you're going to not want it in this form. You're going to want it in this form. You can't tell the shift. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go backwards and put it in this form. So we're going to go backwards here. So it's kind of like factoring it kind of, right? It's going to take a little bit more manipulation though. So let's look at how to go backwards. So as you can see, oh right here, yeah, so they did do equals 0. So then, once again, subtract 9. So plus 4 would have been it. Equals 0. Alright, so instead it's going to say rewrite this in standard form. So we're going to fix this. So what you're going to want to do, you guys, is it's going to be the same method as completing the square. So we're going to just have to complete the square twice. So you're going to want to group all your x's together and all your y's together and get anything else on the other side. So our first step is to subtract 4. Remember how when completing the square we got everything that wasn't a variable to the other side? So same steps, honestly. So we have x squared, then I'm going to reorder it, minus 6x, we want all our x's by each other, plus y squared minus 4y, so I'm putting my y's by each other, and then now we have equals negative 4. So put all the x's in the same spot, and then put all the y's in the same spot, and we always put x first, then y, and then everything else on the other side. So now what you're going to do is just focus on the x's for a second, and you're going to complete the square. So just a reminder, to complete the square, we do b divided by 2 squared, correct? So what we're going to do is rewrite this in a different form. So we're going to do b divided by 2, so that's negative 6 divided by 2 squared. Remember that we show our work for a reason. So that's negative 3 squared. So isn't that 9? So remember, didn't we from there add 9 to both sides of the equation? That's what we did when completing the square. So I'm going to add 9. I'm going to put it right next to this because that's the group we're in. Add 9, but if you do it to that side, you've got to add 9 on this side. Okay, so then I'm going to change colors and I'm going to complete the square with my y's. So you're going to do negative b, or sorry, yeah, negative, not negative b, but b divided by 2 squared, so negative 4 divided by 2 squared, which is negative 2 squared, which is 4. So we're adding 4 to this piece, just like we did with completing a square before. Add 4. All right, so then what we're actually looking at, if you'll notice, is this is a quadratic that factors, isn't it? We learned a trick. What will that factor to be? It's negative 3, guys, right? So if you didn't know that, could we just factor it like the old-fashioned way? Well, multiplies to be 9 and adds up to be negative 6. 3 times 3, negative, negative. So it factors to be x minus 3 squared. Okay, then we have this piece here with the 4 now. So that factors, use your trick. So then we have a plus sign right here. Still have a plus sign. So plus, that will become, so y minus 2 squared. And that's equal to negative 4 plus 4 is 0. So then we have equals 9. Now it's in standard form. So it's really not that bad. Completing the square is not that bad. Let's not pretend like that's the hardest thing we've done all year, because that's definitely not even close. Right? Okay. Okay, so now notice this is the one time it does get a teeny tiny bit harder with completing a square. When we have something in front of x squared. Do you remember when we had to factor that out to begin with? Okay, so it's just one extra step here, but the same steps apply. First step is to get x squared the x's by each other, the y's by each other, and the constant on the other side. So let's rewrite this. We have 2x squared, and then we have minus 16x plus 2y squared plus 4y, and then I'm going to add 38 to the other side. So equals 38. Okay. So then from here we're going to look and say, okay, we're going to pull out a 2. Do you agree? In fact, if we look at all of this, we also need this to be a 1 to be able to complete the square. So we're going to let's just factor out a 2 from the get-go, everybody, from all of it. Say all divide by 2. So we're going to pull out a 2, and then left is divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. So now we have x squared minus 8x, don't we? Oops, I'm not going to put a parenthesis in yet. Then we have a plus sign. Then we have y squared plus 2y, and that's equal to 38. So now we want to get rid of 2, divide both sides by 2. So now we just have our x squared minus 8x plus y squared plus 2y equals 19. All right, and here we go. Now we can complete the square. So you'll group your x's and just focus there. Okay, so we'd say, okay, for this group, we're going to do b divided by 2 squared, which is negative 4 squared, which is 16. So right here's where we add 16. And then we got to add 16 to this side. Same thing with our y's. 2 divided by 2 squared, which is 1 squared, which is 1. So we'll add 1, add 1. So now factoring the red portion here, the stuff with the red, won't that factor to be x minus 4 squared? Plus sign. Now doing the orange part. Won't that piece factor to be y plus 1 squared? Looking back inside. That's equal to 19 plus 16 plus 1. Yeah, 36. Okay, awesome. And we're done. Yeah, it wasn't as bad as we maybe thought. Okay, so a lot of times they'll say graph. Okay, I didn't do an example because getting to that point, then graphing it is easy once you get to that point, right? But what will happen is you'll get to the homework and it's going to say graph, and it will be something like this. So you'll hurry and put it in standard form and then graph it. So go do the homework. That's the end of the lesson. Go do the homework. Make sure you're good with anything like that.